when I have time to do it the way that I want to do it, I enjoy it.
Workaholic or lazy? There's your two categories. What are you saying?
I'm not a center of attention type of guy.
What?
So, like, in the background.
Down in the description, we have a survey that is sitting down there for you to fill out about your experience online. We just want to learn a few things about how people are consuming this content. What's happening, everybody? Welcome to our YouTube channel where we talk about things that make your life better and make you better at life. Never alone. Always enjoy the company on this YouTube channel where we get to talk about topics that hopefully will make your life better. But I'm going to ask them a leading question and you. So if you're watching live when this drops on Sunday morning, we would love for you to hop in the chat and chat with us. We'll be in there periodically today talking with you. Lily will be in there saying good morning. Holly will be in there saying hi. And Dwayne and Elizabeth all the way down from Mississippi. Those are the cast of characters we have today. Let's throw it to Holly today. I got a question for you, Holly, today.
Boy.
As you say hello to everyone.
Good morning, everybody.
You can only be in one of these two categories. There's not another one. You can't make a new category for yourself. And those watching at home, you can't make a new category. Workaholic or lazy? There's your two categories. What are you saying?
Workaholic.
Okay. Is that good or bad? Like, they both sound bad, don't they?
They're both bad.
They're both bad. Okay. We're going to go to Lily. We're going to see if the ladies that are in the office weekly with me, if they are workaholics or lazy. Obviously, I have an opinion because I see what they do. Lily, good morning.
Hello.
How are you doing? And
So
what would you
good.
say? Lazy or workaholic?
Workaholic, but I can be lazy.
Yes.
I love.
Well, I wonder.
I love a good lounge.
Yeah.
But when you're
but I'm a workaholic.
But when you're
Yeah.
workaholic and then you're late, isn't that just you're recovering from being a workaholic?
Exactly.
Let's get the wisest man that ever lives in the current age around us, Dwayne, all the way down in Mississippi. Dwayne, how we doing today?
Good. I'm good. Good.
Okay. You heard it. You only got two categories, right? Lazy or workaholic, where do you fall?
Lazy.
Lazy. Are you just saying that to try to tip the scale here a little bit? Or are you just saying...
I feel like I
No.
disagree.
Well,
He's
my,
going to
my
explain.
thing
Look
is,
at this. Yeah, let's hear it.
I've got to, I've got to work myself up. Like, I've got to actually be intentional. And then it's like, once I get going, like I'm going, but it's effort to get up and to get going sometimes.
So you're like a wrecking ball.
Well,
Once a
when you
wrecking
put-
ball gets
when you
going, get
put
out
it-
of its way. Is
yeah.
that what we're saying here?
When you put it that way, then it's like, yeah, lazy.
Oh, so now
Like-
you're moving.
Like it takes momentum to get going. I was
Nah,
saying
not me.
workaholic in the sense of if something comes up on my own or like on my phone or like I don't know, a task, a to-do list, I'll just keep going unless it's like, okay, no, I need to chill out and have family time or dinner needs to get made or, something like that.
But dinner being made could like tie into your workaholism. Don't
Yeah,
you
it
think?
just is the
Well,
next...
So
I'm
that's
thinking
doing.
I'm thinking of work as like work, like checklist things to do. Whether
Yeah,
it
but
be
I'm not
for
saying 9 to
online
5
or-
job. I'm
know.
kind of going where Lily is. Like, I think a workaholic is somebody that you're going next thing, never stopping, never pausing, no off time at all.
Well, if you think about workaholic, sounds like it is aligned with work, but lazy isn't. So
That's where I think that like when you talk about work, I say workaholic, but because I like to get those things done, I like to.
I think it's just a doer.
Yeah, I think a doerholic doesn't work
overdo it,
as well.
doer.
But I do think
Because
workaholic...
I will choose something to do over laundry. So it's like work stuff at home.
But I like how I think Dwayne helped kind of define
Yeah,
it pretty
that's good. That's good.
In that he's self-proclaiming. We're not saying he is, everyone. If you're tuning in at this point, he called himself lazy. I'm not saying that. That's his opinion. It's a bit of, but once he gets going,
Look at his face. He's like, yep.
once he gets going, he can get rolling, but he's got to motivate himself to get going, right? That's what you're saying. You got to motivate.
Hard to get going. Yeah.
But once you're doing it,
Yep.
okay.
It's going.
I think a workaholic is somebody that you wake up and you're doing. Your resting isn't sitting, it is doing, no matter what it is. Like, it could be your 9-to-5 job, and then you come home and you mow, and then after mowing, you caulk the seals on your window, and then you change the brakes on your car. Yes, you can justify that, oh, these all need to get done, but you're not breaking. You're just, I'm always doing. Your kids are always going, you never have time for me. That is a workaholic. I think in our culture, we have begun to say workaholics are just somebody that devotes too much time to their career and profession. I'm not trying to say that today. I'm trying to say a workaholic is always doing. It's tough when you're trying to say there's not a blend, right? Like, let's be honest. Like, in life, there's very little room for things blended. It's either polarizing. It's either, and that's why we're going with this, workaholic or lazy. So are you still sticking with what you're saying
I'm
there,
going
Holly?
lazy.
You're going, she's
Oh my
moved.
gosh.
Oh, man. Why do you say, oh my gosh,
It's
Lil?
just funny. It's just back and forth is funny.
Yeah,
Well, no.
because I don't. I mean, if I'm having a choice of what I'm going to do, I'm going to choose. That's why I was saying, like, my thought of workaholic would be like work stuff. I'm going to choose things to do with work as opposed to things to do
Laundry-wise.
laundry or dishes or, you know.
But you're also
So-
agreeing, like, are you saying that you would...
I can shut down.
Yeah, you
So
can
I
just,
can
like,
shut
just
down
chill
very,
and-
yes.
yeah.
I can say, you know what?
One of her frustrations with me is that I don't shut down very much. Something forces me to do that. Like, you're not going to find me just chilling for very long. I can, but I won't.
Yeah, but
It's a rare day. Like, if it's a...
you do. Yes, that is very true. It's like, oh, we got to water the trees at 9:00 at night. Like, we can do that in the morning, like that type of thing. So yes, that is very true. But then when you do sit down, you're like, hey, it's time to sit down. And I'm like, hey, I got 8 loads of laundry to fold.
Yeah. Here's a funny thing
Like
in the
your
house.
timetables are different.
Totally.
That
Like, if
time.
I have a moment like,
Well, yeah,
woo,
because when I want to rest, which is like after 9 or something, she brings out the towels. I'm like, we have 8 children. They can fold. And she's like, well, they won't fold it correctly. It's like, what?
not true.
What is the problem here? This is craziness.
Don't go
Okay.
doing that.
Okay,
No.
so then I
Dwayne, step in, please.
Dwayne,
No,
this
he
is
chuckled.
becoming-
Yeah, like
This is
y'all-
becoming a
like,
conversation between them.
these are conversations that happen in my house all
Yeah.
the time as well.
yeah, it's marriage.
Yeah.
Well, he doesn't. It's partly
Wait,
like
would you not just say he doesn't? Like, I'm not in the room. I'm right here.
I do enjoy folding towels and like
Enjoy?
different things. Like when I have
I
time to
enjoy
do it.
watering the trees.
I'm kind of that type of person that when I have time to do it the way that I want to do it, I enjoy it. If I don't have time, it'll sit there for 3 weeks.
And what would one say? What would one say to that statement? I'll just see if Lily can
If
give.
I have time.
No, yeah. the way
I'm-
she said it, what would be the one word to sum
if
that up?
I have controlling.
No! Ding, ding, ding. There. Where's my bell? I need a bell. Just
I mean,
nail
I'm
it.
the same way with things, but
We gotta
you
let
know,
that stuff go.
no,
Ollie's the one who's taught me to let it go.
Yeah,
so.
yeah. Exactly.
Sounds like
exactly.
you need to remind what your wisdom.
There's
Yeah.
2 baskets sitting in the living room right now. Like I can go show you them. They've been sitting there for 2 days.
No, you brought him up last night.
True. Okay, I did.
Oh my.
Brought him
I
up
folded-
last night. And it was like 10 o'clock. She's bringing, I got to fold. And I'm like, just shaking my head. I'm like, here's Dwayne, this is what the kids say in the house. Like, the other day, they're all kind of waiting around. It had gotten late. It was like 8 o'clock or something. And I'm like, hey, why is nobody showering? Or whatever. They're like, oh, we don't shower until we see you in the summer put board shorts on, or in winter, put your pajama pants on. Because then we know
It's
the day's
day's
done.
It's over.
Yeah.
Day's
Yeah,
done.
but that's
Yeah.
the signifying
That's so true.
deal of how the rest of it could be 2 hours of the night, it could be 3 hours of the night, but this telltale sign is dad's attire. If I come in and after I run after the office and I come back and I put on board shorts, they're like, okay, it's relaxed evening. But if I slap on, pants or whatever, they know that I'm about to do something else. So it's pretty funny to hear that.
Smart kids.
Yeah, and it's true. So now that I catch you and they're like, Dad, you just want to put on your loungers? You want to put on your loungers? Because they want just to shut down the day. I was like, no, we got trees to water. We got cats to mow and all that kind of stuff. So
Cats.
that's
to
right.
mow.
Get them
Cats
out of
to
here.
mow.
See, I was just seeing if you guys are going to catch that.
Wow.
I was gonna say it's always the trees to water example. What else is?
Cats to
going
mow.
on?
Get them over. No, Oh, there's
Poor
always
Diggs.
things.
No wonder he doesn't like you guys.
Yeah,
I know, right?
Thank you, Diggs. I mean, Dwayne.
You
I
just
said,
almost called
thank you,
Dwayne?
Diggs.
Yeah.
Thank you. I know Diggs is the best cat. And
Okay. We've given ample time for people now in the chat to work out if
Yes.
you're a workaholic or lazy. We'd like to see if you want to retract your previous statement of workaholic or lazy. We're talking about you today. Either side of this, we're talking about you, workaholic or lazy. We're going to use some ancient historical documents to illustrate something that's not new under the sun today, Dwayne, Holly, and Elizabeth. This has been going on since mankind was created. This toiling of working and being lazy, or we call it a lot around here the comparison trap. If you're around here a long time, we'll bring it up here once in a while, this comparison trap. We're going to talk about that. One of the biggest comparison traps that ever happened, it was by a toy company, Mattel. They just brought a movie out last summer about Barbie. Dwayne, do any of your girls have an authentic, genuine Barbie?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that we
I
have
feel like that's
several.
a questionable face there, Dwayne.
Several.
You're like, I think so. Are they real
Well,
Barbies or just Barbies?
when you said authentic Bible, I was like, is there anything else? Other
Yeah, well,
than
sure. There's a lot of.
authentic?
They're not Mattel. There's something else.
Like a brat doll.
A brat doll. Look, I don't even know what that is, but there you go. So they
Yeah,
have dolls. Barbies, probably.
They do.
Okay. Lily, growing up, did you ever have a Barbie?
I liked brat dolls, but I'm sure I had a Barbie doll.
But can you tell, like, you're bringing something new to the table. I don't know what a brat doll is.
It's
No, let her explain.
It's a Barbie doll. Like, but that's the thing.
It's really
like,
a Barbie doll?
No.
Oh.
But that's the thing, like Barbie became so popular and it was the first of its kind that it became the identity of even other dolls that might have looked like it. Brat dolls were just another form of a Barbie doll, but a different brand.
Okay.
And they are known for their head shape.
Interesting.
Yeah, they were like a little bit wider. A little bit more attitude.
Well, the
too.
More
whole
attitude,
thing,
too.
yeah,
okay,
the whole,
okay, fair.
Rats.
Did you have Barbies growing up?
I did, absolutely. Skipper, the whole gang.
Wow, yeah, that was like the sister or something, right?
What? I don't know.
Right?
Barbie, you don't know who Skipper is?
That's her little sister.
Oh.
I got to admit, I'm going to go on camera and say this. Maybe Dwayne can. I grew up with 3 sisters, so obviously I had Ken. In order to play
I'm
with my
sure.
sisters, I had to have Ken.
I'm sorry.
And my sisters would always go, like, we would set up our little Barbie stations in our rooms. Like, I had Ken stations.
You also brought out your He-Man and...
Oh, I would, when my sisters were not around, this is true, I would capture Barbies with my G.I. Joe characters. They became POWs.
He was the original Toy Story, guys.
Yeah, I totally melt down in your torturing Barbie, you got to get pretty violent sometimes.
Oh my gosh.
Yikes.
You got to hold her toes to the fire, and she'd melt sometimes. When my sisters wanted their Barbie back, sometimes it would look like a pancake with some hair mixed in there. She didn't talk. She's a strong woman.
So obviously she handled it fine.
Yeah. But I'm just going on record. I did have a Ken doll, and so I am well immersed into the Barbie world and scene. Dwayne, can you help me out? Did you ever have a Ken doll?
No.
What?
No. Well,
so it's
okay.
just
To my
Okay.
credit. Well,
To your credit.
It's-
Let's hear this.
well, I guess it's really to your credit because my sister was 6 years younger than I am. So,
Okay.
like, I set up my bedroom, G.I. Joes and Army men, and like I'd have a big battles going on. But when my sister got to Barbies, it's like I was a teenager, and not
G.I.
not
Joe
doing
didn't
that
even
as
matter
a
anymore,
teenager.
right? Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I still think that's
Yeah.
to your credit, not my credit, but that's okay.
That's what he said, to my credit.
No, and then he was being kind. He was trying to.
Yeah.
Okay, here's the picture of the original, the OG that started it all in 1961 or something like that. OG Barbie right here. That thing.
Very interesting.
That Barbie is in the, what, Smithsonian? Is it?
Smithsonian.
That's so, I like the M version, Smithsonian. It sounds more historical.
Historical?
Yeah, it's a word.
That would be historical.
Yeah, but it's mystery involved in the history.
Oh my.
Come on.
You cannot just make up your own thing.
Oh, I can.
No, you can't.
I have my own YouTube channel. I can.
No, you can't.
I just did. Dwayne, where are you at? You get all quiet on these moments. Where are you at?
What do you call it, Dwayne? Smithsonian or Smithsonian?
Definitely Smithsonian. Yes.
Smithsonian, which you
Oh,
know,
it's there on display. That's
yeah,
pretty
Lily's like,
cool.
let's move on.
No,
Yeah,
it's just that's cool. That's
it is that. It's been part of history, a toy that's made it into a museum of like pretty high standards. That Barbie is in there. Now here's the deal: that Barbie doesn't really look any different than the
She just
OG
looks
Barbie.
vintage.
She looks vintage. Why do you say that? 'Cause
Well,
she's-
no.
The hair and
Can you
the
throw her back up
dress
there?
The
and the makeup.
hairstyle, the outfit, like the
Yeah, the makeup.
yeah.
The hair.
there's
I mean,
makeup
that's
on her.
like when was this created? When was Barbie created?
1961. I
Also,
believe.
Yeah,
there's
like
no
the
more
60s.
creases in the arm as there is there.
Now,
Wow, I didn't
newer
even notice these
Barbies,
things.
their arms bend and
Yeah,
their legs bend.
Maybe she bent there. Here,
I don't
let me
know.
give you.
I don't know.
I don't remember these right offhand, but I have it wrote down. The original Barbie was 11.5 inches tall. Okay, she was the scale of 1/6 the size of a human. That was the whole. So we know she scaled down to 1/6 the size, which would make her, if she's 11.5 inches tall, knowing that she's 1/6 the size, she would be 5'9"
That's tall.
in real
With
life.
her heels or without?
Without heels.
5'9".
How do you know without heels? You just. That's
I'm
what-
guessing. I don't
okay.
know. This is not. But here is. They play it all out even more, okay? Just so we're all tracking. I don't know what all these numbers actually mean, but just so we're along with. If Barbie was a
If
real
you
live
took
human,
the-
right?
yeah, okay,
5'9" with a chest size of 36 inches, 18 inches waist, and 33-inch hips. But her feet, proportionate to what she is as a Barbie, you would not be able to walk. She'd
'Cause
have
her
to
feet
move
would be like
around.
a
They're too
size-
little.
They'd be like a size 4.
Too little, so she'd have to be out crawling on her hands and feet. Or knees.
Because
Hands
her
and-
feet
Yeah.
wouldn't actually hold the height
Right.
of her.
Yeah, her head would be so large because of the proportions. Her head would be ridiculously large that her neck couldn't hold up her head. Her head would be too long.
Poor Barbie.
No,
Some
that's
people
not
are
the
like-
OG, all right?
What's
Like-
that?
Like, has the dimensions of Barbie changed over the years? Like,
I was gonna
They've
say,
created
feel
different
like-
ones.
right. I feel like probably, as it got kind of in the 80s and 90s and all that, like, probably the dimensions probably
her
changed
legs were
a little
actually
bit to
probably
be more
longer.
disproportional.
Her waist,
Right.
Yeah, her waist might, like if you were to take one off the shelf today and then
Well, but you
compare
gotta be.
it to
You'd
that.
have to go with the. I don't even know, because here's the deal. I haven't brought this piece of news into it, so I haven't looked at Barbies in ever. But there's no just one Barbie anymore, because
Well,
a
right.
couple years ago, a couple decades ago, there was a big old cry of moms saying that my daughter's growing up and trying to have a body image of Barbie, which is leading to some disorders. And so Mattel had this idea of, well, let's create other Barbies. And so then you had what did they call them?
The plus size, the curvy, like
They called it, or it was called the curvy. Man, what else did they call
tall Barbie,
Oh,
petite
curvy Barbie, tall Barbie, and petite Barbie. Those were the three options that they have. Which one are you choosing from? Because now they have more that little ladies can compare themselves to. Which I'm not saying that there's a way to shut that down. I'm just saying,
That's just
what is this whole information
include-
proves something to me. That as parents, we tend to go to places that make our children do things we don't want them to do and tell them to change, instead of raising our children to be able to go, that's not a wise thing to do, like comparing yourself. We go to Barbie and say, change the image of Barbie so my daughter can continue to find something to find herself in. Instead of going to our children, the ladies, and say, hey, don't compare yourself and what you should look like to somebody else, because you were designed to be who you were. You might never be 6 feet tall like Barbie would be, or 5'9". That might not be your body type. So us trying to find something for people to compare themselves to or to be better than is dangerous.
I agree.
That's the land of error, and that's what we just saw in culture. And then Mattel, how many times do we see this? There's not someone I can identify with in a movie. Disney did this most recently in the last 5 years. In all of their upcoming movies, they're going to have someone that everyone can identify with in seasons of life, stages of life, we're not going to, but like we're always looking for something or someone that we can identify with. that we can compare ourselves to.
Yeah.
Why do you think that is, Dwayne?
Why are we? So repeat the question again.
Why do you think we're always like? What is it about us that are always looking to compare ourselves to somebody else? Like, and I'm not picking on girls. I'm just using a real life story with material about Barbie. Parents upset about girls comparing themselves to Barbie and having eating disorders because of it. And we're trying to tell Barbie it has to change instead of changing. Hey, no, my sweet little daughter, don't put who you are into something else. This is who you are. Why are we always searching to compare ourselves? That's the question. Why, as humans, men and women, looking to compare ourselves?
I think if I don't know, for myself, for that, if I'm being honest, it is a lack of it's an insecurity. Like we don't really know what we're doing, so it's like, okay, I'm trying to be the best parent. I'm trying to be the best man, the best husband I can be. So at the same time, I'm trying to like, okay, let me look over here and kind of see how I'm matching up. Am I doing okay? Like, do I need to do something different? Am I not doing something? Like it comes from like I'm the older I get, the more I realize like my parents were really like my dad, just always like had a plan, always like just knew what he's doing. It's like, no, he didn't. He was making it up as he went.
I love that.
So like he just went with confidence, and it's like, okay, so yeah, I think that's part of it.
And I love how you say a lot of times if you just move with confidence, no one has no idea that you're winging it.
Right.
Confidence hides a lot of things for sure. I wrote it like this in my notes after just thinking about Barbies and stuff and parents crying out to, hey, our little daughters are comparing themselves to Barbie. So then they, the company adjusts the fear of being banned. Let's give you options. And then I wrote it like this. Instead of teaching our kids not to compare, we ask toy companies or others to change, or we try to find someone or something that they can be better than. Instead of coming to our child and saying, listen, if you continue down this road as an adult, it doesn't get any easier. As we mature, it doesn't go away. We just hide it better. That's what happens with adults. As I've gotten a chance now to spend a great deal of time with a lot of different people in different generational situations, like middle school and high schoolers, adults. Adults are teenagers with just the skills to cover up their isms better. That's it. We just hide it. We'll use confidence to overcome some of the things. And so when we talk about this topic today, this is what welcomes us to the land of what we call around here the land of we all live in it, and you got to opt out of it or you'll just naturally be there. There's something about humans that this is a thing. This is where there's always somebody with more than us. I'll give us a list so you can comply with my thought. We want, we're always looking, or we're struggling with somebody that's prettier than us, richer than us, healthier than us, thinner than us, faster than us, smarter than us, taller than us, shorter than us, and the list can keep going on, right? It's like it's the land of Somebody's got more than I do, therefore I feel insecure about what I got and what I'm doing and what I look like because I live in this land called But maybe this is true. This is where I'm going to wrap myself out. I don't really want to live in the land of I hate the land of Now you're going to think I'm being super spiritual here, but I want to be in the land of Est. I mean, if we're going to be real honest here, right? I want to be the fastest. I want to be repost it. The most. I want to have the mostest kiddists. Right? I just want the ists.
I think you win on that one.
Maybe. No, there's a few. We just met somebody the other day with 10 kids.
10 kids, yeah, 10 kids.
So,
whoa.
But the ist, right? Like, if we're all being honest, the is the stepping stone to the ist. Maybe I'm the only one. And it's interesting, as I asked you, Dwayne, earlier, what is it about humans? Because when I look around in nature, I don't see the land of at all. And maybe I've been wrong. But, it's fall time here in Minnesota. And Dwayne, we know that in Mississippi you have fall, but it doesn't look as much like it does here. I'm going to assume in Mississippi, right?
Yeah, yeah, that's safe. I mean, I guess the fall, winter doesn't look the same.
Okay,
So
but
fall looks
You
about the
get
same.
colors.
okay, so let's
We
just
get
see.
colors.
We're gonna compare. We're gonna compare, right? Okay. What we're gonna do is I filmed this. What, Lily? 2 hours ago?
Yeah, 4
Well,
probably.
4 hours ago. 4 hours ago, I filmed this. 4 hours ago? Maybe so.
Yeah.
4 hours ago, I filmed it. So this is at date what my backyard, Holly's in my backyard, looks like at current date. Dwayne, we want you to compare it and tell us what you think. We got some music to go with it as well. Can we unmute that? All right, Dwayne.
Baby, you filmed that?
Yeah, you-
that was
Boulder
the
Dash.
best.
Boulder Dash.
Boulder Dash. What is
does
Boulder
that
Dash?
mean?
I don't even know what that means.
That means it's not real. Like you make something up.
What?
I've never heard that in my
Dwayne, do you
life.
like that game?
Yeah.
Okay, he had to think
You-
about it. I don't even
Dwayne,
know
I
the
think
term.
you'd be good at that game.
Boulder Dash. So you're saying that's
Boulder
made
Dash.
up? That is my backyard. No, some of the animals might have been put in there for feeling a vibe, but
It matched.
yeah.
So
It matched.
But
yeah, it
that was
matched.
the
it
best.
was funny as
It was
honestly.
it was enough truth, enough real to when I being there, I know where, okay, that really wasn't the backyard. The squirrel with the waterfall, like, no.
Yeah, that's not for sure. But
yeah,
it-
but you know, some of
No.
it is the backyard.
everything but the animals
Sure, right.
is the backyard. Everything but the animals. I just wanted a vibe. I wanted to create a fall experience.
You
That's
did.
amazing.
It was very
Okay, but-
calming.
Does your fall look like that right now? Just
Right now, no.
yeah.
No.
What?
Will it
Will it? Yeah.
It will. It will.
really like that?
Not as much green. Definitely not as much green. Like you
Oh.
have evergreens up
Evergreens.
there. We
Okay,
don't necessarily
Dwayne,
have
you need to figure
as
out how
much
to
here.
make a video like that,
And
and
yeah.
then we'll play it.
And then we'll compare them.
Then we'll compare who has better falls.
I would love to see your version of that video. Let me know how I can help.
Yeah.
Send him a drone.
Okay.
Yeah, we
Send
got
me a
you.
drone.
Yeah, send me a drone.
Oh, you
That
got
feels
it.
like
I
I want to
think
stand
it'll
on my
be
house and
creative.
just hold
Yeah,
my
that.
selfie
The
stick up in
360,
the air.
yeah.
That would
It goes
be
far. It
so
goes-
funny. That would
You
be
can do
so
it. Do
funny.
it in your own vibe. Like just do one when you're running and stuff. I mean, again, I here's what I didn't. I only made the comparison trap between you and me because I thought it'd be funny. The real deal as I was preparing today to talk, I was like, why is this comparison trap, the land of Ur, only a human thing, not a nature thing? And outside our office window, you saw it in the video, but there's these two trees. One is stunning, and the other one is still green. Like, not a leaf has changed. Here's the picture. So you know what? I just was staring at it and go, I don't look at this tree, the green tree. It doesn't look envious to the sugar maple
That's such
there.
a beautiful photo.
But you look at it, right? Like the tree on the right, not one leaf has changed. It's still green. It's not going, oh man. Like right now, you wouldn't look at that tree and go, oh, that's such a pretty tree. You look at the sugar maple and you go, dang, that thing's on fire right now. That's beautiful. Wow, that color pops. You just don't get the sense that one tree feels bad for the other. Or let's just go on height. I don't walk by the sugar maple and it goes, I wish I was taller than that one. You just don't get that. Like, where do you don't ever sense that when you have dogs around dogs, one's not going, I wish I was bigger than that one kind of deal. It's just, why is it a human thing? Lily, I know I asked Dwayne that. I'm asking you deal with middle school, high schoolers, and you know yourself. Why is this a human thing? Why do we struggle so much trying to be better than somebody else?
Well, I think it's very common in the world to be able to look to your left and right and see a standard that you inevitably just pick up and say, this is my standard, and so I'm going to get my eyebrows done like this, or I'm going to work out so that my muscles look like that guy's muscles. And I also think from a biblical perspective, it is a work of the enemy to get us to not realize that we're made in God's image. And that's the biggest compliment anyone could ever receive, because we're made to look and act like God, the God of the world.
But that's a great statement. I mean, I think that's a wonderful worldview statement that we're creating God's image. But how do I move from the constant battle and struggle of being in the land of Ur to being at peace and being content with being solely made in God's image? We're going to throw that one to Holly because you set it up so well. Well, how do we move from that? And then please put your comments in the chat on that. How do you move from that? Because there's so many of us going, I'm not as talented as that individual, so I can never do that. I could never. And then all of a sudden we're holding ourselves back. Instead of going, God, what did you put in me? Because we want to be a Lily. We want to be a Holly or a Dwayne. We want to be all these other people instead of ourselves. So how do we move, Holly, the needle in the comparison trap over to I'm creating God's image, and that's enough to motivate me?
Well, I think some of it is making sure that you're tied into God, into Scripture, into reading what He is saying about you and what He has planned for you, and believing the promises that have been set for you. And so, but you can't do that unless you're learning and growing and challenging yourself in that aspect. As you know, case in point, if you don't ever spend time in your Bible, if you don't ever spend time reading, and you only take magazines and read what magazines say, well, then you're going to have an imbalance of what you're going to actually apply to your own life. So you have to figure out, okay, if I'm applying something of God's image to my life, then I need to know who God is and know His character. So I need to go read that. You're not going to find that in a magazine. You're going to find that in Scripture.
Yeah, so it's a bit of an old school statement, but garbage in, garbage out.
Yeah.
If and adults, we forget that. We want to say that to kids all the time, but seriously, like, are you? Yeah, I don't need to expound on it. I think you nailed that really well. I wrote it like this: discontentment fueled by comparison is dangerous. It's okay to be discontent when your heart breaks for someone or something, different category. But when you compare yourself to someone and then find yourself discontent, that leads to frustration to a person or a group of people. There should be an idiot light that goes off inside all of us. It's reprogramming, rewiring our brains the way we think. The minute we are comparing ourselves to somebody else's situation, what they have, where they live, all the stuff they have, and it makes us discontent, there should be an idiot light going off. Danger, danger, danger. Whatever is about to come on the other side of this thought is not going to lead you to peace. It's going to lead you down a dark path that is never satisfied. It's an appetite that always wants more, 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 never satisfied. It's dangerous. There's a voice that says we need what they have to be respectable, accountable, acceptable, and lovable, and on a bull. That's how we justify it. That's the antidote to this. This is how we get away with it. It makes it feel all right and acceptable. Well, no. If I buy this group of people will respect me more. If I have the best of the best, I'll get the attention I need to get the upgrades in life, to get the promotion, whatever those things. But we just use all of these as the antidote or the solution to living into the land of Ur, but only it keeps you there. Your house is still in the Ur land, so you're always looking to be better than... You know what the dangerous thing is? In the land of Ur, this is the worst part, is that you're always going to find someone that's you're better than to make you feel good. So if you find someone that's faster than you, you know what you ultimately turn around and do? You find someone that you're faster than. And now you're now setting up the person behind you in a bad situation. So the way we justify ourselves, the way we soothe our soul in this is we just want to be in the land of and we want to be the to somebody else. Because there's somebody faster than me. There's someone that has more money, right? Like the land of It's gross. But we live in this all the time. You have got to voluntarily step off the locomotive, the train, and get out of the land of because you're there. Human nature keeps us there for whatever. Here's what I love, what Proverbs, written by the wisest man in history, ancient history books. King Solomon is his name. Proverbs chapter 14, verse 30 says this. A heart at peace gives life to the body. Envy rots the bone. But envy rots the bone. Oh, man. I mean, what is envy, Lily?
Wanting something you can't have or don't have.
Okay.
Not necessarily can't have, because you can get it.
Okay. Do you want to add anything to envy, Hal?
No, I'm okay with that.
Dwayne, do you know what the dictionary says envy is by chance? You were a school teacher.
I don't.
I can look it up.
I got it right here. A feeling of discontentment or resentful longing aroused by someone else's possession, qualities, or luck. What? And that's what we want, right? Like that's the land of That sums up the land of that we find a feeling of discontentment or resentful. I think there's to be envious. Sometimes it gets even more gross. Longing, it's aroused by someone else's stuff, things they possess. I want what they have. We become jealous. What I love this is if you want life, then you're content. You're peace. You're after peace, not what everybody else has. If you go, we all know this. If we continue to do what the American dream is, we're going to just find ourselves in debt and can't afford anything. And we're not going to have peace. We're going to rot from the inside out. The way we find peace is to throttle down. I read this to Lily the other day. I think I put it in my notes somewhere here. Maybe I forgot to copy paste it. But I read. I read a book. It's like 52. I don't remember it now. Nonetheless, it's called "Choose the Spartan Way Over Luxurious." Okay, it is a great read. I enjoy the book. Here it is. It's the Little Book of Talent. That's what it's called. Okay, and so they give you 52 tips on just how to be the best version of you, not somebody else. And one of the things they had was this little spot: choose Spartan over luxurious. Oh man, is it good? Lil, you got to pull it up over there.
No, I think
I got it. Here we go.
I don't remember where you sent it.
I got it. I was going to have you read it, but it's here in my notes. So just sit back and enjoy it. Here's what we're going to do for you. As I read this, we're going to put up that fall video. I got to get it done in 1 minute of this reading. We're going to mute it. So you're just going to listen to me this time. So visually, instead of you just watching me read it, you have something that's visually stimulating, okay? And so here we go. Video playing. Here it is. We love comfort. We love state-of-the-art practice facilities, oak panel corner offices, spotless locker rooms, and a fluffy towel, which is a shame because luxury is an emotional narcotic. It signals our unconscious minds to give less effort. It whispers, relax, you've made it. The talent hotbeds are not so luxurious. In fact, they are so much the opposite. They are sometimes called the chicken wire harvest or Harvards. Top music camps, especially ones that can afford better, consistently maintain of a run-down cabin. The North Baltimore Aquatic Club, which produced Michael Phelps and 4 other Olympic medalists, could pass for an underfunded YMCA. The world's highest performing schools, those in Finland and South Korea, which predominantly score at the top of their program, features classrooms that look like they haven't been changed since 1950s. The point of this tip is not moral, it's neutral. Simple. Humble spaces help focus attention to the deeper practice tasks at hand, reaching, repeating, and struggling. When given the choice between luxurious and Spartan, choose Spartan. Your unconscious mind will thank you.
I'm sure Dwayne loves that as a Spartan.
as a Spartan because he's done some Spartan
Yeah.
races. What do you think of that? Do you think that's true that when it comes to us continually getting the best of the best, do you think mentally we just turn off like I've arrived? Whatever we're choosing is a good standard for ourselves. Do we ultimately shut down and just go, now I can rest? Think that's a true statement?
Oh no. Like
You don't.
once we have arrived, like there's always something else. Like okay, like there's more updated, more technology, and more like
What?
I don't think what.
No, I'm agreeing with
She's
you.
agreeing with you.
He said,
Oh,
what?
okay. Yeah. I mean, and I think if we're honest, and I think this has to be said too, because right now the examples have been very, self-focused. I think if we're honest, we do the same thing with our kids.
Yeah.
We get distracted because we want bigger for them. We want better for them, and like we get we get busy. We get distracted by trying to accumulate all this stuff for our kids to make their life better, but in reality, like that's not what they need.
Yeah. I mean, that's so true, Dwayne. And then you constantly, as you make decisions that might not look like the world or the land of Ur, you start saying, oh, am I not setting my kids up for success? Am I doing a
Yeah.
bad job because they don't have access to blah, right? Whatever it is. And so I think as parents, we begin to fill the schedules and go, no, they got to get into every sport. They got to get into all these things because what if they're going to be the next Michael Phelps in swimming? What if they're going to be the next Mozart? I got to get, right? What if they're going to be an NBA basketball player? And that's fine if they all are, but I just feel like sometimes we think we're going to manifest those things, whereas God is in control. He's going to, if they're meant to be in the NBA, they're going to get there. However that story goes, they're going to get there, okay? And so I just feel like sometimes the best thing we can do as a family is to be a family. Sit down and eat meals together more than 3 times a week. And when I'm saying sit down and eat meals, I mean at the table, maybe cool music playing in the background, no TV kind of situation, just chilling or whatever it is. But that's just like we're so far from that image. We got to get so busy that mom and dad feel more like they're a bus driver in the evening than they do feel like they're mom and dad. Don't get me started, Dwayne. But I do think that's a great point, is that we've made it very individualistic, but I think newlyweds start in the land of Ur. I want my marriage to be better than my friends, so we need to stay away from these. And we actually...
Good intentions, yeah.
I think so, but then they start steering our lives in a direction
Right.
that's unintentional. It's in the land of Ur instead of what is God calling us to do. I'm going to avoid this because I want a better marriage, and that seemed to be the downfall for them. But that doesn't necessarily... I mean, anyways. Here's what I want to do, though, Dwayne and ladies, on this topic. This is a tension to be managed. It's part of being humans. We all are in this land of Ur. There isn't really a moving out of it. You get better at it, okay? Using the better Ur again. You're going to get better at managing the tension. You need the idiot lights and the warning signs to go off in your brain that's saying that's living in the land of Ur. You have perfectly good shades going on in your house right now, but all of a sudden you saw a commercial, I need new shades. And it's like, what? Those are fine. Or new couches or whatever it is. We just begin to get into the land of Ur. I mean, probably not coolest. One of the places you see it the most is when people upgrade like siding and you live in a neighborhood and you're like 10 years ago you did the siding. They didn't. Well, that's not trendy anymore. And it's like, what? You just spent $30,000 on a trend. And then you know what everybody says? At least I do. Maybe I'm the only one. I wish I had more money so I could do that. What happened to me? I got sucked into the land of Ur. I want to be better. I wish I had more. Okay, here we go. Here's the tool for your tool belt. Again, by ancient standards. Okay, so this hasn't even changed. This is applicable thousands of years ago and today. Ecclesiastes, that is a mouthful. Chapter 4, verse 4 is where we're going to start. This is King Solomon. He is the third king of Israel. He's very, very wise. When you read through 1st and 2nd Samuel, you get through the first king, second king, and then you get to King Solomon. And when he was given a question, God said, what would you like? He didn't ask for more money. He said, I'd like to have wisdom. God gave him wisdom and money, which already means he had wisdom in him. God just grew his wisdom. And so when you read through things from Solomon, it's like, man, ponder that for a minute, because he's not just spouting. He's got divine wisdom in him. Sometimes he did not execute his own principles, but that's true of all of us, right? We'll give advice that we don't follow. So people want to always bash different people, especially in Scripture. Well, they say this and they did that. Okay, have you ever done that? Well, yeah, we all have. We're human. It's part of being human. We don't follow our good advice. We're stupid. And I put we. I'm in there. I didn't call you. Here we go. Ecclesiastes chapter 4, verse 4. And I saw all toil and all achievement springs from one person's envy of another. This too is meaningless. It's like, oh man, I saw all toil. What is toil, Hal?
Like hardship.
Okay. Dwayne, you like
Work.
hardship, or you want something else there besides toil? Because we don't use the word toil in our conversation. Did you toil this week?
Yeah.
Kind of sounds weird.
Effort.
Yeah, I would say like work, like effort. Yeah, I think effort is a good.
Okay. I saw that all effort. Is that, what would you go with, Lil? Or what does it actually
Work,
mean?
like it means work harder to struggle, work extremely hard or incessantly, like being busy.
Yeah,
Like doing like what we started the day with.
I like the idea of putting struggle here. If I was to rewrite it in a way that for me to make sense, I would put the word struggle. I saw that all struggle, because in the land of Ur, it's a struggle. I'm making bad decisions to be better, not than myself yesterday, but then my best buddy, right? I've got to go into debt to do that. I've got to do some things that I necessarily wouldn't do morally or ethically, so that I'm better than them, right? Or I look better than them. And so I struggle, and all achievement springs from one person's envy of another. Like, Lil, help me ponder that, because that's a pretty bold statement. It's not some. It said I saw that all toil and all achievements spring from one person's envy of another. So does that mean, Lil, if you were my counselor and I said, hey, I've raced Ironman, I was in the top 10% for a while there of all athletes in my as a male, would that be a comparison trap that I strived for that, not just see how good I was, but because I wanted to be better than other people? Based on what this said, how would you process that?
I mean, yeah, based on what Solomon is saying, he's saying that all that we do and all that we set out to achieve comes from us looking to the left and right. That's what he's saying.
So,
but that's what he's saying. And what I think it does is it begs the question of motive. And I think in that and in this, like, it's a great time to just evaluate. What's the motive of my heart here? Why am I wanting this? And I bet more times than not, we will find that it's from the envy of something else or someone else or old me, past me, future, whatever. And I do think there's times when it is a genuine goal. But I think even wrapped up in that, there's toil and achievement.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, because you could have a goal set out that's good but then all of a sudden,
when you're in it,
I need to look apart. We were just talking about this the other day, Dwayne. I don't know if you follow these trends like in running and stuff. Lily says right now it's really trendy for runners,
with girls,
women runners, that they it's just a vibe right now to have this certain shoes,
you get
sunglasses.
The best Hokas, you get the fatty, colorful Hokas, and you get the Oakley running glasses and a little vest, and you slick back your hair, AirPods. It's a whole vibe.
Yeah, that's what.
But it's just to look the part.
The part. But who's telling you that's
great
the look,
that you're
right?
running. It's great that you're running. Love that.
But it's like it's
just an influence.
Yeah, I mean, that's a great way to even use that term. YouTubers, Instagrammers, TikTok, what are they? They're influencers to tell you what a runner looks like, to tell you what a lumberjack look like, what a successful mom looks like. And all of a sudden, we might start out with a heart of, I want to be just a fit woman, Lily is an example, into the CrossFit space. But now, to do that, I need to look the part. I need leggings. I need the certain shoes for this lifting. I need a belt now. I need, right? The list goes down.
Yeah, I just hate social media. Like, even like when people are on there, and I see this a lot with moms or like parenting, and people express like, you don't have to have it all put together and everything should be one way. But then you're actively comparing to what you even just see.
Yeah.
And it's just like, live your life. Live your own life.
But
I
here,
don't know. That place is, Solomon would look at that and be like, this is a hot pot of everything I wrote about.
yeah, but I think that's what you see. And like, and I don't, the great thing is we do not have any images.
Ecclesiastes, if you rearrange it, it says social media.
Yeah, yeah.
Can you imagine? Can you imagine?
You.
That'd be crazy.
We don't have anyone in particular that we're addressing as an influencer. I think we're all influencers because somebody's watching us. Mm-hmm. And I think when I read something like this, I saw all toil and achievement springs from one person's envy of another. I want to be like them. I'm jealous. And he says this too is meaningless. There's no hope in it. We were talking about earlier today that really the only time I don't feel this, and this is not the answer, the only time I don't feel these things is when I've taken my family and we've gone like off grid into Canada somewhere, and there's nothing out there that I'm not worried about upgrading my boat because I don't see another boat. I'm very satisfied with what I got. I'm not running around, oh, I got to have this outfit to look like a dad or whatever it is. I don't have any of those struggles. But as soon as I plop back home and I get going, all of a sudden it's like, oh, to continue to strive and achieve, I got to do this, this, and this to continue to be in the land of Ur. And some would say, well, the antidote is to go live by myself then. Because then I won't feel these things. I won't have anyone around to compare myself with. That is not the answer to the solution. Actually, you're not dealing with it. So this has got to be something we have to deal with and manage attention that it's always going to be with us. I like how King Solomon says, this too is meaningless, a chasing after the wind. Anytime you figure out, like, we got to memorize this line. This is meaningless, is a chasing after wind, and then add this part, because that's the scripture then, and I don't chase the wind. I mean, he's trying to paint a picture of how stupid it would look if somebody's chasing the wind. I mean, are you getting the image, right? Like how dumb somebody looks. You can't even see. You just see somebody trying to grab at what? Nothing. But they're chasing it. This is meaningless. This is a chasing after the... you got to say, I do not chase the wind. There is no peace, only of chasing the wind. And it doesn't stop. Every generation defines differently. Like even how the ladies pointed out that the original Barbie doesn't look the same because the changed. What the goal of a body image changed, and so the Barbie had to change, right? So the land of is always continuing to move and progress in an unhealthy manner. Now listen to here you go. Listen to King Solomon's next line in Ecclesiastes chapter 4, now verse 5. Fools fold their hands and ruin themselves. What he's saying here, if you think the antidote is to move somewhere by yourself and don't go around anybody and just isolate yourself, he's calling you a fool. He's trying to say, fine, if you're just going to fold your hands and do nothing, that's foolishness. Now, the word in fool in the Bible comes pretty heavy. I don't know, Dwayne, do you have a word that we could use that's in our culture that would be similar to the weightiness of the word fool in Scripture? Because when we use the word fool today, it almost feels like playful. Mm-hmm. But in Scriptures, it was pretty weighty. What would be a word we would use in our culture today that would kind of fall in the lines of foolishness? Yeah, that's a toughie, isn't it?
I'm a blank. Blank for me. Blank for me.
That's hard.
Let's pull it up. The only way I know how to maybe find this is let's go to like the Message or a different translation and see if they continue to use the word fool or if they put in. That's the beauty of taking our Bibles and getting different versions to read. Because when you come to the word like fool, we just don't use it unless it's a playful word a lot of times. Oh, are you fooling me? Are you fooling me right now? You want to hear a great story about one of our kids fooling the other kids in our house? Revolution. He's 5 years old, Dwayne, right? Little guy. But he's amongst a sea of other humans that are always jacking around with each other, okay? Or whatever. Just pranks are always happening in this household. And this 5-year-old thought the other day thought it was hilarious to take the red lid from the creamy peanut butter and switch it with the blue lid of the crunchy peanut butter. He just thought it was his best idea ever. He shared it with Holly. He's like, this is what I did. He switches it. And the prank wasn't sprung for a couple days. So every day you would see him just at the lunch table looking in the kitchen when people would make their lunches, hoping that somebody would make a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. And then yesterday, his dreams had come true. Inspire went and got out the lid peanut butter with, he wanted smooth? He wanted crunchy. He wanted crunchy, so it got smooth peanut butter, but didn't know it. Layers it out. I mean, there's some problem here with me for Inspire. How did you not catch immediately that because they look very different? But then he slathers it all over it, and it wasn't until it's all across his sandwich that he go, "Oh man, Mom, this crunchy peanut butter doesn't have any crunch in it anymore." Revolution lost it. I mean, he's 5 years old.
So funny.
And what 5-year-old can pull a prank off like that well, right? And just hold his tongue. It was hilarious.
For days, yeah.
For
that's
days.
impressive.
That's great.
Yeah.
I also said to Holly, I said, actually, I'm terrified of what he's going to be like when he's 15 years old. Because if he just pulled that prank off, what prank is he going to do when he's capable of thinking up some very mischievous things? Going to have to drop the hammer on that kid. But that's foolishness, right? And when you as he being foolish, it's playful. Lily, does some of the other versions say it differently?
I looked at the Message and Amplified, and it didn't say anything other than fool. But I looked in a little research, and I saw a senseless fellow, a dullard, which I'd never even heard that word. But when I look it up, it says that it's a slow or stupid person or an idiot.
I like the word idiot.
But then this is super cool. The biblical definition has the added dimension of someone who disregards God's word.
That's it.
I was going to say.
That's why the weight is there.
Yes.
And it should be weight.
That's
Does
the weight.
not acknowledge God's love, evidence, or desire
Bingo.
for people to know him through Jesus Christ.
I mean, that's saying something, right?
Yeah.
One word just said a whole lot here. This is somebody that says, talk to the hand, God, I don't care about your wisdom. Mm-hmm. So when we fold our hands and don't do anything, we're dishonoring God in biblical principles. So this can't be the solution. Solomon's trying to go, hold on, let me interject here in the next line to say that's your quick answer. Because I said it even as we were talking today. I go, man, the solution is move to Alaska, live off the grid. But that's what he's saying. That's your natural default. That's what every human will figure out. It might not be Alaska. It might be move out in the middle of nowhere in Mississippi. Is there nowhere in Mississippi? Is there a place like that in Mississippi?
I'm like, there may be a town called Nowhere. Serious.
Maybe.
Yeah, I want to say like there's something like that. Yeah.
I know like Kentucky, there's places you can just disappear up in the mountains and just be gone, right? And then they're everywhere. But people default to that and think that's the solution. Here's what he continues on. Better one handful with tranquility than two handfuls with toil and chasing after the wind. So now he's giving you the medium, the place where peace is found. Because one side says, I'll just move to Alaska by myself and do it all, and I won't be in the land of Ur. Okay, that's wasteful. The other side says, well, it's undeniable. It's going to be everyone, so I'm going to get the most I can out of this. I'm going to grab two handfuls. But he says, better one handful with tranquility than two handfuls with toil and chasing after wind. He's saying this is meaningful and chasing after wind. Here's the best example I got. Dwayne, have your kids picked out who they're going to be for Halloween at all? Do you do that in your house?
Yes.
Okay.
They try to do a theme.
We talked about this.
Marshall
they try to do like a family thing.
Yeah. Right.
Did we get to hear the theme last week?
No, I don't know if it was decided.
Yeah. Do we know the theme?
I don't know.
Oh, it's not. The information's not made it to Dad yet. It can't be good for you.
Dad doesn't like. Dad is not in the theme, so
Dad's not in the theme. Okay. So I feel better for you.
They took you out. You're not included.
Dad doesn't participate. Somebody has to film.
I think, is it willingness?
How about we let him talk?
They know that Dad is not really into the whole theme and would prefer just to kind of take pictures and to be
affiliated.
I'm not a center of attention type of guy.
What?
So like in the background, like I would like that.
Yeah.
Right. That makes total sense. Okay. So with Halloween around the corner, our kids have all been talking about their costumes and all these different things, and they don't even trick or treat. But the costumes are being developed as we speak, and the Epic is making his completely out of cardboard. like from head to toe. It's impressive so far. If it can come together, it's impressive. That's all I can say. I don't want to ruin what he's doing. Legend's got a cool costume going, Dwayne, and he wants to enter in competition with One Wheel with it. And so they're devising strategy. But when it comes to trick-or-treating, I remember what it was like trick-or-treating when they were little. We used to take them around when we lived in town and we would go trick-or-treating. We had to teach them what we just learned here. Better is one handful with tranquility than two handfuls. When it came to trick-or-treating people's houses, they would take their trick-or-treating buckets, put it on the ground, and put two hands in and come out with two handfuls, but then they struggle with, well, how do I lift this? It just became a lot of tension. We're like, if you grab one handful, you can still hold on to your bucket, and you can put it in their situation. We see it the most come to life there, but we really, as adults, right, Dwayne, Holly, and Lily, we do this all the time. We want two handfuls of everything. This is how we end up in debt, is because I want all of it. I want two handfuls. And what he's saying here is if you have one hand full, you have another hand to continue to serve, to help. But when I have two handfuls, I can't do anything. I'm now managing my handfuls. I'm sorry, I can't do that for you. I have to work 3 jobs to take care of what's in my hands. I'm sorry, I can't, right? Like the excuses start to roll because we are told in our culture, in our society, that more is better. You want a better life? Get more. Get a bigger house. I mean, think about it. All the commercials that are sent our way is always about bettering your life with more things. More money. More debt equals more money. More money means you can have more things that you need more money to take care of. It's just a land ver. Less is more when the less you hold is what you were created for. I'm going to say that again. This is something that I try to subscribe to in my personal life. Less feels like more when the less you hold is what you were created for. That I'm living life on purpose. That the way that Holly and I are raising our family and doing our marriage is the way we were created to do this. It isn't we're trying to have a better marriage than Dwayne and Elizabeth or Lily and Jordan. It's looking at what our skills and our abilities are, what are our goals as a family, and then trying to say, okay, we're okay with less. Like right before we started filming today, I was talking with Dwayne trying to heat everything with fire. That's not for everybody. I don't think everybody needs to do that. But I look at, hey, we got 8 kids doing what we're doing with firewood. It saves us money, 1. 2, it gives us a direct way to teach our kids responsibility and work ethic. Hey, got to go out and split wood. We got to go out there and use a chainsaw. Hey, we got to get going while we can now because we need this ready for next year. A whole lot of things are being created in this. I don't think a family of 2 probably wants to do this. It feels like that's going to end up being a mom and dad job. Whereas this is like you got 10 people going to do something, you can move a lot of wood. I don't think I'm going to grade Lily's marriage or Dwayne's marriage or familyness on mine. We're doing what we've got. We're trying to do less with what we got, but it feels like we're living life with purpose. And that's what we need to move to in our own lives. Am I living with purpose and not being driven by culture? When culture tells us we need to have more, we're toiling. We're struggling. Instead of, no, I know what God's created me to do. This is why I'm going to do it. King Solomon continues at verse 7. Again, I saw something meaningless under the sun as he studies people. There was a man alone. He had neither son nor brother. There was no end to his toil. Yet his eyes were not content with the wealth he had. For whom am I toiling? Who are you toiling for? Yourself? Like he had nothing, but he just had this desire to get more. Like this, what you just read right here in verse 8, there was a man all alone. There are people that do this. This is not made up. People do this because it's in us to just continue to gather, and not to serve other people or to give to the poor and all these things. It's just my kingdom come, not your will be done, right? It's my kingdom come. And Jesus tries to teach us even into how to pray. Your kingdom come. God, I'm serving something bigger and better than me, but when we live in the land of Ur, it's my will be done. My kingdom come, not yours. Hold off your business. Is your family, is your marriage about God's business? And the deal with this is this is not just, it's a bit what we were saying earlier where we can throw out these cliche Christian statements. but it's application. I wrote this in my notes. Some people are lazy while others are workaholics. Lazy people seeing the futility of dashing about for success, idle away their time and hurt both themselves and those who depend on them. Workaholics are often driven by envy, greed, and a consistent desire to stay ahead of everyone else. Both extremes are foolishness and irresponsible. The answer is to work hard, but with moderation. Take time to enjoy other gifts God has given and realize that God who gives out the assignments and rewards us, not us. There's the managing the tension. You can't be 100% lazy, can't be 100% workaholic. It's a rhythm in the seasons of life. Rhythm. I think this always leads me to the topic of balance. If we're striving for balance, it's going to overwhelm us because everything I see about balance is balancing plates. Have you ever tried to do that, Dwayne? Get one plate to spin on a stick?
No.
No, what?
I've never been. No. Like I've never been brave enough to try to balance a plate on a stick. Like that's a broke plate.
That's a broke plate.
What's happening.
A broke plate.
That's a broke plate.
It's a broke plate.
That's funny you even say it like that. Like I just said, you have to answer it like that. But we do this stuff all the time with our lives. We're trying to get balance. We're trying to balance our whole life out with adequate time with this individual, that individual, this thing, and that thing. And what the problem is it's going to break. Balance is achievable for a short amount of time, especially with plates. As you start getting more plates to spin, what happens? There's a tension that all of a sudden comes in as we're trying to get to balance. One of them starts to wobble. Now I got to go deal with that plate get it spinning again. And then we have another plate that is starting to lose it over here. And all of a sudden it's just, I can't take on anymore. I'm just trying to balance what I got going. That's why we got to go to rhythm. Rhythm creates a rhythm of what season of my life am I in? Am I in rhythm with that? In music, you don't need to be a musician to know that when people are not in sync together, when a singer isn't in rhythm with the guitar, you might not be able to say they're not in rhythm, but you can go, something is off. When you're not in rhythm in the season of life you're in, you know something's wrong. You know that you're not in rhythm with the season. This is something Holly and I had to definitely learn as we continue to add more and more kids to our lives, is that we can't behave like we have two kids. We can't drive a car like we have two kids. We can't get in a boat and act like we have two kids, right? Like we have to change with the rhythms in our life and be in rhythm with that. And be at peace with the rhythm. Once we find the rhythm of the seasons you're in, man, it's relaxing, it's enjoyable, you know your part. But here's the thing, just like any good music does, it has crescendos, it has speed up at time, and it slows down. And you've got to know when those seasons in life are for you. Like Holly and I look at a calendar all the time and go, hey, this is trending to look like it's going to speed up here as we get to Christmas. Let's make sure we make adequate times to slow down before we get to the holidays so we're ready to be in rhythm. But when you don't prepare like that, all of a sudden you become overwhelmed because it's like, I can't go to this speed this whole time. It's being in rhythm with the seasons of life you're in, not balance. Did I say that clear enough? Is that like, anybody want to shoot? Like, come at me if you think this is not, now I've created something that's not achievable.
Well, you mentioned it earlier and like kind of quickly of just saying, like when you think of balance means like equal, like two parts or three parts that are equal, like everything has the same amount of time set for everything, however you want to do it. And just the imagery of balance versus rhythm, I think is important just to think about. Like you can say, oh yeah, it's just another word that you're using or whatever, but just think of the imagery of balance and how things look equal, and the imagery of rhythm when you even just think of like the rhythm of a creek going, just the way it's flowing and over things, through things, around things, looks different than balance.
That's good.
That's just all I thought of.
Like the creek.
Yeah.
I think something that, at least in my life, I've realized is I identified as someone who's lazy. Elizabeth will definitely identify as someone who is a workaholic. And, I think God provides those people in our life, a lot of times our spouses that are different than us, to help us navigate that rhythm to where I think a lot of times friction comes in. It's like, no. Like we just, we got to go, 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 go. And then the other person step up. It's like, now it's time to kind of, to rest a little bit. And that begins to be friction. But we're best when we're in sync together, when
Yep.
we are allowed to, when we allow each other to kind of, work together to get the necessary stuff done, but then also have that time to relax as well. So that's another thing that I thought about as we were talking.
Yeah, again, that's that rhythm, right? You can't if you're 100% something, you're missing something. I know there's holes in that but on this topic, if you're 100% just straight up working all the time or not doing anything, bad news. There's got to be getting in the rhythm. Like when you think about an old school clock, I think of an old school clock at least, that has the pendulum that tick-tocks in the middle, right? It never goes to the full extent to one side or the other. The pendulum just sits there, tick-tock, tick-tock. That's what life needs to be more alike. And then what happens sometimes in life is the outside circumstances makes that pendulum swing all the way up here and you feel the tension. You know that this is not sustainable. Could be a family emergency. It can be a financial emergency. The pendulum just swings all the way out. But you know that soon you're going to return back to this. These extremes are for those extreme moments in life that are shocking and surprising. You didn't have any time to prepare for those. We're not talking about those seasons. We're talking about those every day, getting the rhythm of life. Look at the rhythm of life you need to be in. Because here, King Solomon talks about both rhythms. He in Ecclesiastes chapter 4, verse 7, the guy he's writing, and he asks, who am I to deprive myself of enjoyment? This is an extreme. Well, why am I going to deprive myself of getting all I want? This too is meaningless, a miserable business. Man, it's trying to not be extreme. It's coming down and being in rhythm inside the middle of that. I wrote like that. There's like a billion people that would look at your life where you are, all of our lives, and want to be you. They would tell you that you're one of the luckiest people to be alive. I wish I had what you had. I wish I had the marriage you had. I wish I had the house you had. Blah, and we're all looking at them going, are you crazy? What's wrong with you? Oh my gosh, I got all this stress and you don't want to be me. And somebody's looking, no, I want to be you. The land of Ur. You don't believe it? But here's my question. Do you know why you don't believe it? And I let the science sit there. Do you know why you don't believe it? Have you ever thought about why you don't believe it when they want to be you? Because you don't know why you're toiling. You don't know what you're struggling for. You're just trying to keep up with the Joneses. But you don't know why. There's no excitement in this is the end. I did this because of an end result. I do ultimately want to train our kids this way. I ultimately want to be this kind of Jesus Christ follower. So I'm doing these decisions. And I always want to keep packing full of examples, but we just are running out of time here. If you don't know why you're toiling, because sometimes there are struggles, you'll never discover God's purpose for your life as long as you're distracted by someone else's success. And that's where we're going to leave it today. You'll never know. As long as you're looking at everybody else and wishing you were being them or better than them. It's a gross place to be. As long as I'm better than them, as long as I beat them, my coworker, as long as my marriage is better than my sister's marriage, I'm good. Are you, what? Better than my parent? I just want my marriage to be better than my parents. Well, then we're going to miss the mark. Why are we basing, we'll use that as an example because we hear it a lot as Holly and I have had the honor to sit across the table with so many young people giving, I just want our marriage to be better than our parents. So you're using a marriage based on their expression that they label as a failure, as I just want to be better than that. So you're okay with a D on the grade card? Or a C? When ultimately you could have had an A? But all you've done is set the bar so low by going, I just want better. Then we can't do that any longer. The question you got to back up to is, what is the wise thing to do? So you don't become a fool. Now, what we typically do is we sign off, pray, and all that. We're going to do a little bit of reverse this. We're going to give you time to ponder this. Don't log off because you tend to want to log off. No, this is where you got to sit here and ponder this for a moment. We're going to play Good Grace. And what we want to do is this song plays, we want you to ponder everything that was said here. Maybe write yourself a little note. Maybe you got to speak to yourself, like, all right, get up off the floor now. Let's change a few things here and there so we'll get different results. This is where you make some changes in your life. This is, that was just really good today. What's your next steps? What's the rhythms you need to set in your life versus the land of Ur telling you to do? So here's good grace. We'll be back to wrap this up. This is where you get to do business with God.
Blood is one, children of generations, of every nation, of kingdom come. So don't let your heart be troubled. Hold your head up high, don't fear no evil. Fix your eyes on this one truth. God is madly in love with you. So take courage, hold on, be strong. Remember where our help comes from. Oh, oh, oh,
praise go up as the walls come down. All creation, everything with breath, repeat the sound. All his children, clean hands, pure hearts, good grace, good love. His name is Jesus. Swing wide, swing wide, all you heavens, let the praise go up as the walls come down.
That is a good song. Let's pray really quick. Jesus, may we take inventory in our lives of the areas we got to get into rhythm with you. May you give us the eyes to see in our own lives, our marriages, our parenting, our singleness, of where we are comparing ourselves to others for a standard that's unachievable. May we know where these are. May we begin to work these out. May we begin to do better. Those that are coming in with heavy hearts on this topic, may they have peace knowing that they're just one step at a time, that we'll get better. May we remove ourselves from the land of Ur and put our lives into your hands and say, Jesus, what do you want to do with me, my life, my money, my marriage, my parenting, my singleness, whatever season of life we're in, may you use us. Jesus, in your name, amen.
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 Mr. Dwayne, thank you for hanging with us today. Always a
Always
pleasure.
fun.
You and Holly had the green thing going on today, which was
So did Lil.
And
I
Lil, I
actually was
missed the
going to
memo,
say this
actually.
would have been a
You
really
missed the
great.
memo.
Well, you and I have Vikings.
Fall.
But then the rest of us have green. I was going to say we should take a family picture.
a family picture.
Family picture.
An online family picture. Is that what we're saying? Okay, wonderful. For those that were here at the beginning, we got a great realistic picture. If Barbie and Ken were actual human beings,
Oh, boy.
we have a rendering of what that would look like for your enjoyment that you didn't get to see at the beginning.
Interesting.
So it is interesting. And just pay attention how little their feet are. There's no way they're standing in real life. There you go. That is Barbie figure on the left, curvy Barbie figure, and then Ken's figure. The guys, they just look a little odd.
Yeah, it's all very weird.
Because, we don't have the dimensions. We did have them before, but their feet size are like 4 inches. Like, I know that doesn't come. I mean, so it's just, and their arm length and stuff is wild. Actually, Ken looks like he has got some band.
Hourglass.
Yeah, is something around. Nonetheless, there you go. That's if.
Interesting.
But then that's interesting that as little kids, no one taught little kids that you should make that the target. I should tell you, it's in all of us that we have to grow up out of. So this is a grow up session in a sense. Dwayne, for those that are still watching and hanging out with us and they want to give their tithes and offering, how can they do that here at Unlock Church?
Yeah, they can text the word unlock to 77977, and that will push play, will walk you through it. It's very easy, very simple to set it up, one-time gift or a recurring gift. Or you can go to unlockchurch.com and you can go to the Give tab and it'll walk you through it as well.
Thank you, Dwayne. You make it sound so easy. I think it really is.
It is
Lily,
easy, yeah.
It is easy. I don't know why everybody's not doing it. Lily, we have a way for people to connect midweek with people online. How can they do that?
Through small groups? Is that what you mean?
Well, yeah.
Or like Instagram?
Well, you can do Instagram, but I was hoping you would just go straight to small groups and.
Yes, there are small groups being offered, and some people that attend or watch online regularly have jumped into a small group through FaceTime and things like that. We offer them on Monday, Tuesday, and Friday evenings in certain parts of the month. So if you just screenshot this or even go to the description below on this video, it'll take you to more about when those are being offered, and it's just a great way to talk to people that are in this community that are hearing these same messages and connect.
There you go. It's that simple, everybody. If you want more information, if you have not subscribed to this YouTube channel, you should totally do that. You'll be excited when you click that little button. You'll have done something today. If you haven't done anything else, you can say you have pressed the button to subscribe to use something to make your life better. I mean, who's going to argue with you on that? So go ahead and click that. And then down in the description, we have a survey that is sitting down there for you to fill out about your experience online. We just want to learn a few things about how people are consuming this content and what their expectations might be for the future. We've had about 6 of you out of about 130 people that watch regularly fill it out. So we need more because 6 people isn't enough to know how to move forward and make sure we're serving you the best. So it's down below this video in the descriptions below. Click the link. We did a QR code at one point, and we found out that was just a little bit cumbersome. And so go ahead and click that, and you will inform us on how you consume this. Thank you, Dwayne, once again for being with us. We love that you take time from Mississippi to be with us. Always a pleasure to catch up with you. One of the things that's fascinating about you, Dwayne, right now for me is that since you've shaved your head every week on camera, you must shave it. Like, what's your routine there? Is it every day?
Yeah, every day, every other day.
Every day. Are you using like a Bic razor kind of deal, or you got like what's the process here?
Yeah. I'll just
A Bic
as
razor?
I'm showering. Yeah, as I'm showering,
Wow.
instead of shampooing my hair, I'll just put on some shaving cream and shave it off.
Ouch.
We need to get you like an actual head shaver.
They make such a thing?
Yeah. Yeah.
The bald guy doesn't even know.
Yeah.
He doesn't need it.
No, it's way better. It's way better. I've done it before, and it's like it's got three circles, and you just kind of rub it around your head.
That's what I was picturing.
And
It
won't-
doesn't get it smooth.
It
Like,
doesn't.
I've tried that on my face.
I've tried it before.
No, but that's electric. That's electric. Okay, I'm on a mission for you.
Okay.
This isn't electric.
Oh, okay.
Then what is it?
It's like a Bic razor, but made for your
Manual?
head. That it slips over your fingers and you just rub it around. Not the electric. I'm not suggesting an electric razor.
Interesting.
Yeah. Well, we talk about here. We just want to partner and do life with people in every season of life. This is us doing that for you, Dwayne. So every day.
When you have hair or when you don't.
Yeah. That's impressive every day. Well, thanks for sharing your routine. Now I know something. The more you know, the more you what? How?
The more you know, the more.
Wow, you're
You
missing
grow.
it. Yeah, how do you know that? What is it?
Just sounded right.
Oh man, no, it's from a TV show.
I don't know.
Well,
Reading
you're
Rainbow,
saying
anybody?
Reading Rainbow, but
Yeah.
it was more so the PBS.
No, that was Reading Rainbow. Reading Rainbow for sure.
Okay.
Am I wrong, Dwayne? Do you know what I'm talking about?
I was looking for.
I'm lost.
Come on.
I found
Okay,
it.
You found what?
The razor.
Yeah, show it to him. Can you do it?
Okay.
There it is. It's more than 3.
Yeah, but is that electric?
No, I don't think
No.
so. I don't think this one is. There is an electric
It's pretty
one.
slick. When I was in high school, I shaved my head bald for a while, and I would use that.
That's crazy.
Because I was with you. I didn't like it being stubbly on the top. I wanted it really smooth. So every day in the shower, I used that. And it was really simple. You just go in a circle, and it's really great.
Yep.
Yeah, just
It was-
Nair doesn't work. Nair doesn't work. Just throwing that out for the YouTube universe. don't try that.
What'd he
Don't try
say?
that.
Nair
There doesn't work. Yeah, a lot of ladies would be
Good
able to
to
speak to
know.
that too. That stuff that can burn you.
That's back with the OG Barbie.
Wow, we're kicking it
old.
old school around
Yeah.
here. Okay, if everybody's hanging around for the after show today, well done. Hopefully you got what you stuck around for. Dwayne, have a great rest of your day. We'll see you on the next one. Okay, Lily,
See ya.
Holly,
Bye,
thanks for
Dwayne.
being with us today. Adios,
Adios.
everyone. Bye.
Bye.